You know, truth is, if it wasn't for my kids, I probably wouldn't be married. Yeah, things flatlined a long time ago with me and my wife. I stay married for my kids. What can I say? I'm Stuart Matola, I'm a men's relationship coach. And this is a sentence I hear a lot of guys saying. And the interesting thing to me about it is they speak it in a way where there's such reassurance that this is the right reason to stay married. And I want to be clear, I'm not looking to be a home wrecker or somebody who blows that up, but I do want to challenge that statement to see if there is a false nobility and to see if it's actually harming your kids. Because at the end of the day, if you're staying married for a principle as opposed to people you want to serve, and in this case, your children, think of the lack of integrity for that. And maybe nobody's pointed that out to you. So I want to be clear here. There's many steps to assess the state of your relationship. And a lot of times we don't even ask the simple question of, is my relationship worth saving or leaving? Is this marriage dead or does it still have more fuel in the tank? Because we're holding out for the kids. But think about it for a moment. You were a kid once. And think about your parents. And if you were in a family system where your parents, were either distancers, there was just apathy, not a lot of connection. Over the dinner table, you noticed there wasn't a ton of conversation, or maybe there was conversation that got heated, or you noticed some side just remarks. You're just like, whoa, that wasn't nice, Mom. Whoa, that wasn't nice, Dad. So think about what it was like to live as a child in that family system. Did you feel safe? And I'll reflect personally on my situation as a kid. I did not feel safety in my family. In great part because I did not see much love between my parents. Kids know when a marriage is compromised and flatlined and just devoid of love. I remember thinking to myself back then, how come Mommy and Daddy never hug each other or kiss each other? And I remember thinking, wow, why are they still married if they don't love each other? What model of relationship and marriage are you passing on to your kids? So I want to ask you that. And a question I've thought often is, would you want your kids someday in the future to be in the marriage that you're in right now? Let that land for a moment. Is that what you aspire for your kids? I want to be clear. There's a lot of reasons to stay married. To have two parents present in the home with the child. Studies show two-parent family systems, the kids do better later on. But what those studies don't show is whether those two parents are arguing and fighting all the time, or if there's a general peace, if it works for the most part or not. And the idea of, parting, it's a big question. So there's a lot of reasons to stay married. I get it. But what's the cost of it? Are you with a woman who dominates you, shuts you down, is not open for connection? What's the cost? And what are you demonstrating as a man relative to the model of manhood you're showing for your son or your daughter? To suck it up, be unhappy, just get through the day? What kind of model of adulthood is that for your child? I want to be clear, I'm not asking these questions explicitly to say, oh, you should just go leave your marriage and be out if you're unhappy. I'm asking these questions because I want you to ask the question that you're probably avoiding. Should I save or leave my marriage? And a lot of the work I do with men is to break this down into steps so it's much more manageable. And a lot of times guys won't even ask that save or leave question because they're terrified of the imagined outcomes. But when you just ask yourself that question, get the information, then there's a pause between actual acting. And a lot of times, I want to be clear, it's not just save or leave. And I do this process, which I'm going to be rolling out on my website in the next 2 weeks that explicitly helps you track the percentage of save or leave in a way to honor both. And in my circumstances, when I left my marriage and my son was 15, approximately 6 years ago, I wanted to save and leave my marriage. I wanted both. But I was clear that this idea of staying married for my kids was not serving me, was not serving my kid, was not serving the family system. And when I accessed the desire for save and leave, the leave was much greater. It was like generally consistently 70-30. And I did this process over the course of a week and more because I wanted consistency to really understand what was going on for me. But what I did then was I understood that I could leave my marriage, and the part of me that wanted to save it was the part of me that wanted to still honor and respect and love my wife at the time and my son and respect the family system. Because at the end of the day, it's about the family system. And that's the reframe I want to give you here. What's it like to just say, I stay married for my family. I love my family. I want to create the family that I want. And let's face it, guys, what's the anchor of the family system? The marriage. That's the anchor. That's the foundation. So if you're really in it for your kids, you're going to work on your marriage. And if you're clear that there's no avenues to work on your marriage, then you may very well start to explore what it would be like to separate, to take time apart, to eventually move towards uncoupling, and do it in a way that's kind, loving, and honors your kids. And make that agreement with your partner. I know it sounds easier said than done, but this is why you work with professionals like me. That's what I take guys through. Whether it's to save their marriage and now show up for the family system instead of this false noble idea of the kids when it's really not benefiting the kids. How to improve that family system by improving the marriage. And I also work on the other side. How to help a man leave a marriage and still honor the family system. Because at the end of the day, let's join in that truth that as fathers, as husbands, our primary care is that family system. So I hope this was helpful and it gave you a sense of a reframe that gets you new insights. If it was, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to the bottom right. And I also run a men's relationship tools call where I'm going to leave a link below this, which is a great place where you can continue to have these conversations with myself and other men. So thanks for tuning in and have a great day. Bye.